Good day, everybody. It's Trent Klarenbach with Klarenbach Research. Today is July the 2nd, 2025, and it's a little sweaty in the recording studio this morning or this afternoon, but we're trying to make do with the bright lights. So I want to look at canola. Let's look at canola futures, and we'll look at our Klarenbach Price Index, which represents the cash price in Saskatchewan. It represents the trend of the cash price in Saskatchewan. But first, let's look at the weekly canola futures. It's a continuous chart. And again, it's interesting to me, as they all are. This blue line here represents the anchored volume weighted average price from the high back in May of 2022. It's acting as support, I would argue. So we haven't had a close below that anchored volume weighted average price since back in April. So on the weekly basis. So we had the sell off last week, because remember, if you're new to the channel, we've been talking about this area highlighted by the gray bar rectangle here. Let's just zoom in so you can see that. This area from say 734 to 745 was an area of interest of mine where I anticipated some sort of resistance. Now, we got that back in May, okay? The bottom end of that bar, we had a pullback, and then now we're found resistance from the top end. This is textbook. It's behaving exactly as we anticipated. And look at this nice green candle today. It's almost made back the losses from last week. Pretty strong, and I don't know what the reasons are. I don't really care what the reasons are, but they're probably some drought-related initiative and is the reasons for the rally, I'm going to guess. So it was yesterday, I believe, or 2 days ago, maybe it was Monday. I was asked by one of the premium subscribers, hey, is it too early to get long? And this is back here on Monday. And I responded, I needed it to get over 718 to 720 before I was interested in a long position. So it did happen. It happened on this trading session. It happened sometime last night, early this morning. We can look at the hourly candle or chart to get an idea when that happened. Yeah, it looked like in the morning. And now we're back to this previous resistance level. So we've tested it twice. This is the fourth time, I would argue. And we'll see if it breaks. This thing looks kind of head and shoulderish to me. This could be a left shoulder ahead and maybe a right shoulder forming, but I really do think we have some room to go higher. One of the concerns I have is we are quite extended from, let's look at this one here in the weekly chart. We're quite extended from this 50-week moving average, and I'm not sure we had enough tests down here between 660 and 680. But we might have, and the price is suggesting that it wants to go higher. So we're not going to argue with what we think might happen or what we want to happen or we wish would happen. We're going to stick with where the price is going. Right now, it's today closed at 635-ish. That's near the highs of the year. And how far can this go? My next level of interest on the futures chart is 798, 800. And it's indicating to me that it's going to get there. So the longer we're above 690, I think 680, we'll say, we develop a stronger conviction that's going higher. Let's take a look at Saskatchewan. This is my price index for Saskatchewan. And yeah, we're finding some resistance from this $16 a bushel. And that's to be anticipated because it acted as support here and acted as some sort of support here. And I would argue it's been acting as resistance since back in the middle of May. So we need to get above $16 a bushel to develop conviction of going higher. But there's not a whole lot left to work through here, I don't think. I'm not sure it'll make it through on this next run or not. But be prepared. How would I do this? What would I be looking for? My strategy says we get above $16 on the cash side, then I start looking to replace it with paper. If I'm making some sales or made some sales, that kind of aligns with right here too. I get above 750, and then maybe at this point, this is maybe a good entry for a long position. Stop could go down here around, say, 675. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, 675. Somewhere in there is where the stop would go right now. So if you're okay with that level of, I guess, that risk, I'll say that $50 or $75 risk, I guess maybe that's where your stop would go. But it's pretty tricky. Another idea is below, I'll say 715 or something. That might be an option too. But you make the trade your own. Those are just ideas. Those are just ideas. If I end up with a long position or a short position in the sample portfolio, you can see I started it down here with a diesel position here yesterday, and I didn't publish that in advance, but that's how I'm going to track it and be transparent. Let's see if we can turn this account, make some gains on this sample account. But yeah, I don't think we can rule out $17, and I'll tell you why I'm looking at that here. Let's look at the monthly chart. If you're new to the channel, if you've been here a while, you know what I'm talking about. You got this inverse head and shoulders pattern, in my opinion, formed. Left shoulder, head, shoulder inverse, broke the neckline, indicated by this yellow trend line. Do a measured move, takes up $19.40 to $20. Quite a stretch from where we are today, but if we get above 16, then on this monthly chart, the next level of interest for me is 1740-ish. But that's, maybe we test that fib level up here at 17. What is that? Put my glasses on. 17.95, $18. It's possible. Keep an eye on it. Don't rule it out. And if you made some sales, get a brokerage account. Get some advice from somebody that resonates with you and tells you to have a stop before you enter a position. Know where you're getting out before you enter. Keep those losses small. My name is Trent Klarenbach. Sunny in Saskatoon. Life's good.